we have. Yeah, so the skills available we have, so how do we make the structure work? That's what happens while making the building. And all of us know, like when we design in our office, maybe design part goes on for the 10% of our time, but our 90% of our time goes in making that building happen. So I think and it's to do with the experience of a human being. Everything is, we all of us want that once the building is built, it is the inhabitor of the building, the experience is really good and what that person is looking for. So how structure is so important to form space. And other than strength of architecture to span and support, the structure has an intangible quality which it gives to the space. So that's what I mean. That is the Maya of structure. And today I would like to, talk about in our projects. I'll show you how we deal with it. So first I'll describe few projects in very short way, that what was the idea and how we made that happen and how these ideas get converted into the building. So there was this one building. What we did is, it's in Chennai on ECR Road. It's a small six boutique apartment. It's facing the beach. So here we took the idea of a seashell. So that's the idea. In a seashell, from three sides, it kind of what I would say is, it gives the correct amount of light and air required, but the pearl inside is saved. So similarly here, we made a building with three sides, from south and the west, where we get a lot of sun. We made the masonry with small windows. But facing east, which is the beach, we made a lot of glass where we get the sea breeze and everything. And so in this, again, to make that happen and to give this feel of a shell, for us, it was very important that we do not have a column at the end. So I think that was a challenge we created for ourselves. And we wanted to some part of the building to just cantilever. And maybe in this 3D, this column is here, but maybe the column happened and we cantilevered the portion. And that's something which actually gives the spirit to this building. This is a small house we did, like a farmhouse. So it's a simple house with like any traditional thing, where we have masonry walls and a light roof. Traditionally, we had thatch roof or tile roof, but here we have done with roofing sheet. But what we did here is that we just extended the walls and completed that triangle. So it got a new form, and today it's like, we call it house triangle. It's on our website, it's called House Triangle. And it's like every semester I interview students when they are joining our firm. And this we completed 15 years ago. Every student tells me, if I ask them, why do you want to join Maya Praxis? They only talk about this project. So I don't know. I think it just, till now, it has that, which inspires young students. This is another project. We did a competition where it was Indian music experience. It was like a museum of music. So here, if in a normal anything, we will do these grids. Grids are very important to us. So we just took an idea how to do a different grid. So we divided the site into these 7 parts everywhere, sa re ga ma pa dha ni sa. And then, how like a musician will choose what raga and which note to pick. We made lot of combinations, and then we picked up one grid, which kind of inspired this plan and then the shape. So that's how the design happened. This is another competition we did for a lighting museum in Bangalore. Here, actually, what we did is we got inspired by the, the geometry of crystal. And because it was a lighting museum, and the light had to be celebrated and come alive in everything, through material, structure, function, everything. So we got inspired by this geometry of lighting poles, what we see in our city, which for us kind of matched the geometry of crystal. And then we designed this museum, which has these three crystal courts. But overall, the whole thing was inspired by that structural geometry, and that's what made the design happen. These are two water tank come watchtower structures which we did in concrete. So just like simple, two sheer walls, the steps to go up where there is like a water tank. And this was actually for a large house where we also gave to go on top of water tank, so they could go up and look at a forest which was right there next to the house. This is another same water tank watchtower. This is in northeast. So we took again. It was after we had done that earlier water tank. Here we did this, but because being in Shillong, where bamboo is the material, we integrated bamboo as part of the design of this water tank come watchtower. So to achieve that, yesterday only, the civil engineer in our office, we were doing the BOQ for this project, and he was laughing at me, and he's saying, only you can design this where this water tank is cantilevering, so much load you are putting to that column, and how structure will happen. But yes, I think structural engineer has designed it, and I think that's happening. So we like to work with lot of different materials. I mean, it's brick, masonry, and steel, wood, everything. So this is one house we did where we did completely wood structures, and we learned from the traditional wood structures in Kerala. So we visited like Padmanabhapuram Palace and lot of Kerala old structures, and learned how wood was used. But here in this house, where we had 30,000 square feet of these wood veranda structures, we didn't want to use the natural wood. So we came up with an idea of using glulam wood. And this is like 10 years ago. There was no idea of glulam available in India. So we worked with a company in New Zealand and got quotations and everything. But the client said, why should I get wood from New Zealand? I want teak wood. I will figure out somebody who can make this glulam teak wood in India. Our client was an infrastructure builder, so he got somebody to put a machine in Bangalore, and we made these glulam teak wood columns, beams. So each column is like 10 inches by 10 inches. Beams are 6 inches by 15 inches. And that's all is in glulam teak wood. So in a traditional wood structure, we just, in Kerala, they will not use any joints and it's all nailless. But when it's glulam, when a load comes on it, there is an idea, there is a chance of splitting. So here we had to design these caps on top, bottom, which does not have make the wood split. And that's what we designed along with the structural engineer and made it beautiful. And that's what I mean about how to work these joints and work on the tectonics of architecture and structure, which lends beauty to the space. These are some of, we have designed these foot-over bridges in the city in Bangalore. And all of them, they are pretty much are these different shapes and different structural lattice. The whole thing is like a structure which you walk through. But our idea was that, it should be like a sculpture in the street. We want to make our cities beautiful. And a person who's going through also should experience the city in a way. A lot of these foot-over bridges, they cover the sides with the hoardings. Here we convinced the BBMP and the client who was making this that we will take the actually hoarding above. So what you see above here is the hoarding, and then all these different bridges, they have these different shapes which happen. This one is a triangular shape. The other one was kind of more diamond shape. This is where these are different, like the geometries we made. And it's also about when the person is experiencing the light and shadow, what forms on it. This is on the ring road. So this is the sketch which is inspired by the spine of a creature. Here, actually, the major structure is the major beam, and the top is more like the simple ornamental ring beams. Now I'll explain this project a little bit more in detail. This is actually a yoga, the place is called Yoga Nikaya. It's a place like a wellness retreat where people go to learn yoga and do meditation. So here also our idea was, the structures are kind of inspired by the yoga postures. So if one sees, if when I stand, if we stand, that's the most stable structure, like the building, most of the buildings are like when we are standing, the gravity is all vertical. But in a yoga posture, while doing yoga, we have to find that fine balance in that posture, which we have to be balanced, but we have to make a little effort to be balanced. And so it needs a little extra effort. And I think most of our buildings here, we took that idea. And so the angles and the planes we worked out in this building are inspired by that. And one of the buildings actually is inspired by this Bhujangasana. So in a Bhujangasana with the legs back, hands front, and the person just looks up to the sky. So that's what translated into a building which is like a observatory. So it became almost literal. We were looking up the sky, and there was a telescope the client had put up, and there was again like a watch tower, kind of a water tank there for the whole campus, and an observatory on that. So that was inspired by Bhujangasana. And it's a wellness retreat where people come for rejuvenation of body, mind, soul. Like 7 acres of land with all fruit orchard, flower orchard. We took only the area which had no vegetation. We left the farm as it is. We made a compact design where we had like a plaza with meditation hall, yoga hall, reception, few cottages, like 8 cottages along a street, dining hall, and that observatory. So here, if you see, I'll quickly, like most of the buildings, what we designed here, there are 2 side walls, which are the masonry walls. The other 2 sides are in wood and glass. So that's where the light comes in. And the roof is, again, roofing sheet. This is the cottage where we put the toilet at a lower level, and like with a less height, we had the bed, and then above the toilet with the ladder to go up, we gave a space for somebody to do yoga and meditation. That's what that cottage is. And we created a mound so that from the other side, you don't feel that high height. That's the street, how it sits in the landscape, all the cottages. The yoga hall. So here again, yoga hall, we know we have to face east while doing yoga. So it was aligned with east-west direction. And we did, like these 2 masonry walls, but the inside, being a large hall, we wanted full, like a column-free space. So we designed these like steel columns, these column portals, which made the space completely free. And this is, I think, the closer view without the roofing sheet of the structure. And that's how it is, where the side walls are in masonry. And if you see what the stone is, it's actually a composite wall with like a concrete block inside. And the outside is what you get, this chapri stone like pillars to do fencing, which was available in the area. This is near Hosur. And we just use that as masonry. So it's a composite wall. We didn't want to clad it, but it's like we made it a composite wall. And that's the space from inside where we have this beautiful Kadapa stone flooring polished. And being doing roofing sheet and being in hot climate, we had to give insulation, but we use this packaging wood, you know what you get, deal wood in kgs. We use that with the plywood, and then we put these small pine wood reapers, and that what became the ceiling here. The reception hall. So all the language, all the buildings followed the same language. And all of them, we did this kind of a butterfly roof. So the roof, normally we would see the roof is like this, where the top goes up. Here, what we did is all the buildings had the roof like a butterfly, which made the rainwater harvesting really easy, because we had one point where all the water comes, and from there we collected all the rainwater and recharged the thing. I'll tell you how that works out. The interiors, the dining hall building. So this was one of the larger buildings. We had 3 dormitories and a dining hall, where again we designed this like the front of the thing with these thin columns, which support that roofing sheet up there. So here what we did, what you saw, there was a stone wall and a white wall, and in between we put a staircase inside, and that's what separates those 2 walls. This is the observatory cum water tank structure. So there was a water tank, so we didn't want on these separate buildings like different water tanks, so we had to just create one large separate structure where the water tank could be placed. And that's what this is. So when you enter, then there is this staircase which leads to there. This is the water tank placed. Then we made, and then later actually, which is not shown here, there was a observatory which got added there. So that's what, and 2 shear walls on the side which support the water tank. With the steel structure, we had to strengthen when we added the observatory at a later stage. That's the meditation hall. Here in this, we purposely put the meditation hall underground, because it's like when we do yoga, we want to connect to the world, sun, sky, everything. But when we want to meditate, it's about internal reflection. We want to feel what, reflect inside of us. So we thought we will take the person who's doing the meditation down underground. So, you go to a space where you actually go underground and you're away from the world, and there you can reflect on your own thoughts, and slowly those thoughts would fade away and we are in a different, like in trance. So that's the meditation hall. So yes, we most of the projects we do, sustainability is very important to us. So when it comes to using local materials, local technology, everything, we try to do that. This project is one good example of that. This was a farm when our client took, the water used to come from the nearby village. They had to pump up the water to this. What we did is we did a full, like a proper rainwater harvesting system. Actually, there was this drain where, the water from the village was going right next to our property. We kind of created a bund there and collected that water, and still the water was going further towards the lake because the site was located like that. And then we created this whole channels like bioswales with recharging pits at every certain thing, and directed to the bore well. Within 3 years, they became completely self-sustainable in water. So the bore well, where the water level was some 600 feet or something, it came down to 100 feet. Some of the projects under construction, we, as architects and engineers, I think we love the stage of this project where, one can see how many possibilities we have. It's interesting, the same material you see and the same material you see on the building there finished. So this is how the whole campus feels. after finishing. And yes, finally all these buildings they come alive when they are used and enjoyed by the people. Another project now, which I want to explain, is it's actually a swimming pool building for a school, Aditi Malia International School. So here, again, it's a steel structure. And what we did here is our steel structure was, because it's a swimming pool building, we took this the position when a person dives into the water, that arced position, what we see the swimmer in, we took that as an inspiration and we designed the structure. So that's actually the elevation. I'll quickly go, and that's the covered, the pool, the finished structure. So here, what you see, what we've done here is it was 25 meters span by 32 meters span, one hall, which we had to make for this swimming pool, a 6-lane pool. And what we did here is to achieve that, we designed, actually the walls are at an angle like that, but we designed these 2 split columns, what you see over here. And that's also kind of inspired by when a person is standing, with the hands up, ready to dive. So even the design of the column then got inspired by that, and with the split there. And that's how it, in reality, what we see, the elevation, there was a field there. So we had to give this wall where the dust will not go into the pool. But the split helped us to create that little slit where the air movement could happen at the people, at the level where people were swimming. Whereas the upper, we gave the mosquito mesh so that, the ventilation could happen. But till certain height, we gave glass so that the dust will not go in. So these are, what I'm explaining is when it comes to climate and how to make the building inhabitable without using much energy, we try our best to work it out with the structure. And even to like this bow-shaped truss was designed, it came out of because of that, the swimmer's position. And the span of the 25 meters we took with this bow-shaped truss, which actually was worked out how it sits on these 2 twin columns. And, we created the skylight. So it gives, it celebrates that bow-shaped truss. It celebrates the light, celebrates the structure. And being a swimming pool, we wanted it to do it like heated pool. In Bangalore, for a school, they want to teach swimming all year round. So they wanted to do diesel. We said, no, we will do with solar heated pool. And this is like for a school to do 120 panels we did for that whole large thing. And we had to work that out with that bow-shaped truss to take another structure on top where the panels could sit. And for us, we wanted that those columns should stop at certain height, and then a steel structure should take above, which makes the structure look lighter. Otherwise, going these columns all the way up, they look very heavy. And for us, we had to design this joint. We designed with the structural engineer how the whole load of those from those trusses come to this joint and then get transferred to those 2 twin columns. We do detailed drawings, when you have to design like this, we do really detailed drawings, to make that happen. This is the change room, which we did along with the pool. So yes, I think for us, if you ask us, the client asked us to do just a shed for swimming pool. But why can't shed be beautiful architecture? This is another project, what we did. This is in Bahrain. So it's a hotel, 4-star hotel. Bahrain is an island. So we again got inspired by the sea creatures there. And the client said, we became these foreign architects, like how in India we have architects coming from Singapore. So for Bahrain, they said, we are getting an architect from India. We want an iconic building which looks very different from, like what the normal buildings in Bahrain look. So that's the brief we got. So we said, okay, we'll give you an iconic building. And so we designed this building inspired by that. And we said, we will do this free form building. And there it's like a downtown feel where you can build all the way up to the edge of the property. It's a small site, 20,000 square feet, where we did like ground floor lobby, 3 floors of parking, then the podium with swimming pool and the tower. We did look at these different shapes, what would work to give shadow to the pool and because there it's so hot. So the pool should be in shadow. And that's how we came up with, we did a lot of analysis and we came up with this form. And for us, I think this was the first time, we were working in Bahrain, and we understood there we can't do basement. It's in an island. You're sitting on like land which is really unstable. So the structure was all pile foundations, which went deep, and all PT slabs. Completely, the whole structure was done in PT slabs, where for us, when we designed a building like that, which kind of shaped back like that, so we did had to work, what happens to that column, and how do we support and how many columns we have. So eventually, when these 2 columns, when they went up, we made him slant, like in the last 3 floors they did slanting to give us that shape. So yes, that's just the lobby. And even we do the interiors. So we also take the same idea to the interiors. We worked on like what we do in architecture. We try to take same idea and bring the experience to the interiors as well. I'll skip this part. So even in interiors, there was a column in the middle of the restaurant. We said, okay, why not make a mushroom kind of a thing out of it? And that's the finished building, what you see. So even if you see what we did, most of the buildings in Bahrain, they'll be like this. There'll be no shelter. It's actually hot, 50 degrees, but very few do anything to shade the glass. So when we did these huge PT beams, which also worked out for the form, but they also shaded the glass between the 2 floors. This is one project, I think, for a developer. And here I worked with your members association member, engineer Satish. He was our structural engineer. And literally, I think we had a tough time. It was a problem site because the site was a quarry earlier. And I think when the developer took that site, he didn't know how many problems it came up with. And once we did the soil test and everything, there was a lot of filled up land, and the client, somebody earlier had filled up a lot of places. So we along with Satish, we worked out the structure for this. And the client thought he will do these towers because it was a very odd shaped site. We said, no, we'll work out something where we will do actually like this 9-story building, which is a continuous building. And he wanted duplex apartments. So we did these duplexes. So what happens if you do duplexes above like that, you will get 1 floor with 4 doors, and then a next floor you will get no entrance door. So we said, no, we'll introduce 1 single floor apartment here, and then we will alternate. So we'll get 2, the entrance to this side would be like here, and the next floor would get that. But I'm sure, I think Satish would have cursed us for doing it because, we had every floor became different. And, otherwise a typical, structural drawing we do for an apartment, every floor we had to work out different beams, and there was a double height in every duplex apartment. So what you see is this double height, which went alternating in each floor. And we introduced steel beams inside in that double height, so that we don't see beam in the double height. So yes, and I think we achieved a very actually beautiful apartment after that. Like, so that's what I'm saying. Here, we didn't want any drop beams from which gave the double height. And we introduced steel beams in this 9-story structure in the middle. And that's some of the 3Ds, what we did. And again, the building had to recede back because the client wanted these terrace gardens. So that's how we introduced these sunken slabs and terrace garden to each duplex apartment. And finally, when the building is built, I think the people who inhabit this space, I think they don't think about how much pain an architect or an engineer goes through building this. For them, what matters is how the building is finished, what flooring is there, or what furniture, whether toilet is functioning or not. But yes, we do have to make that work as well. But there's a lot of work which goes in making that structure. So this is how the building has come up. It's under construction right now. Structure is complete. Yeah. Now I think here this is another multi-purpose hall. What we did, it's in Jalandhar, where brick, is in Punjab. Brick is the material which is beautiful and used very well. All the buildings are made in brick. So we wanted to make a brick building, but being a multi-purpose hall, we want to do a steel structure. So we decided we wanted to do something which makes the combination of the two really well. So it's a hall where, for a school, where they wanted performances also to happen, but they also wanted to make it work for badminton, playing badminton, chess, or TT table, or even judo, karate, whatever, activities which happen in school. So that's how was our first thing, where we worked out, how many people could sit. I'll explain in the section, yes. So that's where we did the stage, the flat area where the badminton could happen, then the stepped area behind where the audience could sit, and then we also did the 2 galleries on side, because if the courts were this way, we could add some more people sitting on that side where they could watch the badminton happening. And we, along with that, we designed this amphitheater. So yes, we did it in brick. And here again, we tried our best actually how we could make this building, being in Jalandhar, where it goes up to 45 degrees in summer and goes up to 3 degrees in winter. Now, how do we make a building where students can use this building throughout the year? So we came up with this idea of 3 skin. We have a jali, then we have windows, and then we wanted to do like a blackening out because it has to be performance. So that's what we did here. So we then also, finally, the client had to air condition this building because if you have to have 600 people in summer, it was impossible if we didn't air condition the building. So we did air condition, but the idea was the air conditioning is used only when we have performances. Most of the time when students are using, we do not use the air conditioner. And this is what I was talking about, the 3-layer system where we had this brick jali, then windows. So people could open the windows in summer, let the ventilation happen, but they could close those windows when winter happens, and you don't want any air to go through the building and make the building very cold. So yes, these were the steel trusses. The whole building is steel structure, like steel columns, steel trusses. Again, each truss is designed. We do like proper SketchUp models, how joint is designed, because in most of our buildings, we leave our structure, exposed. So even when we did brick, what you see, brick is between the steel columns. how the joints are designed. That's the building under construction. Most of it is like this concrete, which we use for the columns to support. There's two side galleries.
Madam, your voice is audible. Madam, your voice is not audible, madam. Sadish sir.
That's like a concrete wall. That's some of the pictures. I'll quickly. Then we left the steel trusses open, but to make it acoustically, instead of doing false ceiling, we did these acoustical baffles, which lend the proper acoustic environment to any musical performance also, if the school wants to do. Now it's almost complete, like 90% complete, the building. This is the last project which I'm presenting. This is my own office and house building in Bangalore. Here, what we did is, it's in the stabilized mud block. Because we had to dig the basement, a lot of earth was coming out. We felt bad, and we said we will reuse the earth, make the soil stabilized mud block right here at site, and then we'll make the building out of that. Being both home and office, we did our home below and office above. Generally people would do the other way, but we realized that, we are in office throughout the day. We need more light during the day, where we could do skylights and everything, proper ventilation in the office, whereas home needs more privacy, and we use mostly in the night. So that's more insulated. Whereas the top floor, we also did a terrace garden on our terrace, so that we can make our building as cool as possible. So this is like basement, ground. We have a mezzanine, and then thing. So I'm sure you guys must be wondering that, what are all these angles? Why, they have to make these angles? These architects make things complicated. So here, I think the idea we started and why we did it works because we just, shifted the wall. We shifted the wall here so that in a small site of 40-60 in Bangalore, where one more building will come right here, if we do a window here, we look into my neighbor's a wall or a window. We made this wall turn so that we could do a window to the back side, which is my office or like the bedroom below. But from this window, I can see actually that whole setback and the road there. So the whole building actually was designed where these walls were turned to get those windows and ventilation and cross ventilation. And that's what the elevations kind of look like. And that's what this turning inside and outside of these walls gave the form to the building. Again, there was like the mezzanine, you come just 6-7 feet above the garage area where you start our office. And then we have the staircase. The house staircase was put underneath the office staircase. And then this whole staircase goes all the way up to the terrace, where we have the terrace garden. This is again, we did one like a structure with 2 sheer walls where the water tank is there. So that behind that, we took it up so that we could do the solar panels at the right height below that. Above that, we had skylights and ventilation system worked out with louvers everywhere, so that this triple height space, what we did in the office, brings a lot of light and ventilation to our office. And that's the space which I'm talking about. That's like an internal courtyard to our office. So you kind of enter here, and then in this 3-story space, which has this like a round skylight above. So yes, this is how, the north face facade with very few windows on the west side, the east facade with a lot more windows, the front building. I'll quickly take you like a tour of our office. We enter in this space, which is the reception. And then the staircase, we come here, take this staircase up, climb up. And our office is actually on the second floor. The first floor is only our conference room and toilets. So that's our conference room and toilets on the first floor. And half of the first floor behind here is a house. Then that's our studio. Everything is exposed, like we have exposed brick inside, outside. We have no plaster. Actually, we made some rules for ourselves. This is a building for ourselves. We made no plaster, no paint, no sill, no lintel, no chhajja. We made these no's for ourselves, so which formed a rule, and that's why the building is what it is and what it looks like. The other thing we did here is if you see, actually, all the this is the whole. Actually, the studio is completely. We have no walls. All the walls only to the outside. So all the interior columns are in steel. All the exterior columns are in masonry and walls are masonry. But all the interior columns are steel and all the interior partitions are also wood. So we made this, and that's what we worked out, that how we combine this masonry envelope around, which creates the thermal environment, but how we make this like an open, beautiful space, which feels very light and airy. This is how we go to the terrace up. We did some artwork on our exposed, ceiling, like when we entered that exposed concrete ceiling above. Around the skylight, we painted the map of Bangalore. So we actually, the 3-story space, we did scaffolding for the artist to lie down what you saw and then paint. We created a lot of these garden spaces for us, to relax, and people could go out to this balcony to pick up a phone call. The terrace garden for our office. The space, we also have our home in the same building. So that's the ground floor. But material palette is pretty much same, brick, exposed concrete, exposed brick. All these partitions, what you see are completely recycled, reused pine wood. Even the doors, these huge doors, 9 feet doors and windows, all doors are 9 foot high. They're all made with this pine wood, recycled, reused pine wood. So pretty much, think this partition is also made out of recycled wood and MDF. And, it's like a similar palette what you see in the office. And yes, we wanted, what I spoke to you, that because the earth came out, we made these blocks at site. Then another thing what we did is we made this rat trap bond actually in the soil stabilized mud block. So which gave us this cavity, because the block is 4 inches by 9 inches. And it gave us that cavity where we run the conduits. So we actually placed the conduits before making the walls and then built the wall along with it. Then we didn't have to chase. We didn't chase our walls because walls are exposed from both inside and outside. We didn't want to, the wall to get spoiled. And this picture, I just wanted to show you, like how the steel structure with concrete is integrated. It's like here there is a concrete beam, but this side we have all steel beams. And that's what makes this, because we did it like that, I would say that's how this space gets the beauty with those steel beams. If we had a concrete beam here, it wouldn't have been looking so good. This is one more thing we did for our basement. We made part of it, which was like a veranda. We introduced these bottles in the concrete slab, and then did the concreting. So we got these, like light filtering through these recycled, reused bottles. Another thing, we didn't want the beams to be visible, so, and we did, like here, the beam is half brick inside, extended the slab so that from outside we didn't see the beams, we only see the slab out like that. And that's what gives, like only a slab line continuing, otherwise beams different sizes would be visible, and it doesn't look right. So yes, a lot of sustainability aspects, which I've already explained to you. I think I've already taken too much time. Yeah, so yes, in this building, I think what's happened here is brick as it is, concrete as it is, wood, metal, glass. Our idea was how beauty comes from the rawness of materials and how they are put together. So that's something I think was our idea, and we wanted to achieve that in this building. And I think we've been very successful. After we finished this building, this was our first building to do in stabilized mud block, and now we are doing like many buildings, many houses. I mean, a lot of people just come to our building and say, we love this building, just give us something like this. But before that, when we tried, when we had not made this building, we were not so successful because people were not convinced. After looking at our office, I think it's been easier for us to convince clients to do this exposed rawness of material and beauty in, like exposed concrete and exposed masonry. And yes, it's not me, which I'm just giving you presentation. All this hard work is done by the team, what we have in our office. We have about 20 people in our office here in Bangalore, which do work hard. So yes, that brings us to the end of my presentation. Thank you. Should I stop sharing?
Oh, one second, madam. Very nice presentation, madam. I will unmute all dear members. உங்களை வந்து நான் வந்து யாருன்னாச்சும் டவுட்ஸ் ஏதாச்சும் கொஸ்டின் அண்ட் ஆன்சர்ஸ் இருந்ததுன்னா டவுட்ஸ் வந்து கிளியர் பண்ணிக்கோங்க. உங்களுடைய நான் வந்து அன்மியூட் பண்ணிட்டு அவங்களுடைய இது மட்டும் நீங்க வந்து கேட்டுக்கலாம். ஈவன் தமிழ்ல கூட நீங்க கேட்கலாம். சார் வந்து டிரான்ஸ்லேட் பண்றதுனால பண்ணிடுவார். Any doubts? Ma'am, not only your Beckering building is not iconic building, your all buildings are iconic building, madam. Entirely different sectors and different. I think what is your view about your Vastu, madam?
Vastu.
Vastu, yes, madam.
Yes, I think to tell you what I feel is Vastu were traditional bylaws. Earlier, 200 years back, if the masons who were building, everybody were building houses were built in a village or in a town or in a thing. So there had to be, like how we have bylaws today, some rules had to be built. Otherwise, if people did whatever they wanted, it would have not happened. So these are our traditional bylaws, and which has a lot of sense for light, ventilation. Why we should have more open area in the Northeast is because that's where morning sunlight comes. And, and we, so why we should have less openings towards the south and west, because that's where a lot of heat comes. So there is a lot of science to what Vastu has. But I would say that over the period of time, people, like in a lot of things in our religion, they put these fear factor into Vastu, that, oh, if you don't do this, this will happen. I think that's something maybe should have not happened, but it has happened. But today, so people follow Vastu, I think sometimes blindly. But if we understand the science behind it and follow it in the right way, so that we are not following it blindly, we are doing something because it has to, light and ventilation is the key thing to architecture and buildings. If we make a master bedroom in southwest corner, this thing, but we don't have proper ventilation, then what's the point of Vastu? So I think we have to understand the true aspects and follow it in that sense. So I don't believe in the dogmatic aspect of it. We ask our client, what are the things they believe, what do they want, and we follow that, because I do not want to pose my personal beliefs onto people. Finally, when we make a building, the client has to feel comfortable, happy. So we will do what he feels happy about. We don't want to argue with them in anything. So to every client, what they tell us, we do it accordingly. But we've learned enough about Vastu. So the house we did, I showed you with the wood structure. The client was from Andhra, and even each room proportion was as per Vastu. Okay, we did it. You know what?
Yes, madam.
Madam, one more thing. See, you have shown a lot of structures designed by you, but mostly it's all slant structures. It is not almost flat. Do you have any reason behind this for designing it almost in a slopey situation? But whether the situation requires, or you are unique in that?
Sir, I think we like to play with the structure a bit. So, like I said, in that, the most stable position is the standing position, the vertical position. But the standing position does not have the beauty like the yoga posture, right? So the slanting structures have that little balance. What you create, it brings little more beauty in it. It makes you wonder. So it's nice. It makes people aware of their surroundings, and I think maybe yes, we like to do like that.
Okay, thank you.
Hello.
And one more thing.
Hello.
Do you support now? I think in some places the apartments are coming up in steel-based structure instead of RCC-based columns. I think, have you ever ventured into such type of structures?
So we are doing steel structures for, let's say, like I showed you that multi-purpose hall in Jalandhar. We did completely steel structure. We are doing a couple of commercial buildings in Bangalore, which are completely steel structure. What's happening here is when we are in tight sites in urban areas. Today, the concrete construction is a lot more messier. You need more space. A lot of material comes to the site. You need space to put jelly, cement, sand, everything. Today in urban environments, we are not getting that space. So somewhere I feel the steel structures helps us to do that. So there is a future to tight urban environment where steel will become more popular. And steel structures are much faster, they are much lighter. So, but they are also maybe 15 to 20% cost gets added. So, it depends on the clients, the investment they want to make, where they want to save, for them the time important or the money important. Looking at that, we will advise what is appropriate. But yes, so the steel structures will slowly get popular, I think, because of the time and the construction technology.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Madam, our past president engineer Vijay Bhanu sir will ask some questions.
Yes.
Good evening, madam. Excellent presentation. Thanking you. Madam, I got 5 doubts. One
Yes.
thing, in our
Mute writing, unmute பண்ணிட்டு பேசுங்க sir. Mute writing, sir. Unmute பண்ணிட்டு பேசுங்க sir.
yes, yes. Madam, in our ancient periods, there will be an architecture design. It may Indian architecture, Victorian architecture, Italian architecture, what European architecture, like that, sir. but all your buildings are only contemporary design. Why don't you make our ancient structure in the simplified manner? Number one, madam. Okay. Number two, you are designing all. Shall I ask one by one, madam?
Okay. Yeah, okay. I can answer this question, sir. No problem.
Okay.
So, sir, if you see, I showed you the house with the wood structure. That house is inspired by our wood structure houses in Kerala, right? Because the way we like to do is our traditional architecture, which was there. Maybe what we are left with is what we have: small houses where we had masonry walls and tile roof or a thatch roof. So idea here is this: heavy masonry walls which insulate the building, and a light roof does not keep the heat inside. But today what we do is we want to keep that sloping roof, but we built in concrete. We say, oh, we are doing traditional structures because they look like traditional structures. But we are doing something wrong there, because when we do these slabs, sloping roofs in concrete, and they bring in a lot of heat to the side. What's the point which I'm trying to make here is this: when the material used is different today, we don't have to follow the form what was done traditionally. We have to arrive new buildings, new form, which take care of our lifestyle, new technology, new ideas, and we have to take it forward. It doesn't make sense to blindly just follow. And if you see the house triangle, that farmhouse, we did like that: masonry walls, lightweight roof structure, like a village house. Only thing is this: we turn the roof, instead of like this, we turn the roof like this, butterfly roof. So we also have to innovate and take it further. So I think we believe in that. We learn. We are learning. We are looking at traditional architecture. We learn what are good things for it, but we build something new which works for our today's times.
And madam, okay. Then second question: as per our construction ethics, all our ancient building are meant to create positive energy. Temples, yes, palaces, everything. Okay. Are you sure that your contemporary design prefer like produce some positive energy like that, madam?
Sir,
because you are designing swimming pool according to the shape of diving or swimming. Okay. Yes. In the yoga building, Sarvangasana, yoga, Halasasana, you're built like that, madam. Like that contemporary building has produced any positive energy like our ancient building?
Sir, I think when you say positive energy, and I truly believe that, yes, when you enter the space, you get this good feel, good vibe, correct? That's what you're saying, sir, positive energy, right? And I think maybe, I personally feel the most of the buildings, what we have designed, people feel good inside there. But maybe you have to experience one of our buildings and feel if you get positive energy or not. The office we are working in, most of the people who enter and come to our office, whether clients or engineers, they really feel this is. I think anybody, even a vendor or somebody comes, the first thing they say is, "What a beautiful office." So it means it has positive energy, whether they understand architecture or not. So I think as designers, if we are making buildings, that idea to have positive energy is the key thing we have to have, sir.
Then when you are
light and ventilation, sir, it comes from light and ventilation. The beautiful light, beautiful ventilation is the key thing to the good vibes in a building.
Okay, then I accept. But is it? You are actually, when the client come to our office, they feel they enjoy the architect. Okay, madam. And it is for a time period. If he lives in the permanently, he continuously loves it. The architecture, madam.
Sir, I think my clients are living in their houses permanently. And the houses I built 15 years ago, they're all very good friends of mine. So it must be happy. They must be happy. So.
Okay, madam. Then my third question, madam. In the ancient structure, ancient days, the workmanship of our laborers is excellent. Okay, madam. Madam showed one wooden building structure in the Kerala. Yeah. I saw some joints in the roof between the rafters are metallic.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Then in the ancient Kerala temples, all of the joints are only made by webs. Yes. Okay, okay, madam. Why the differences? Because of the insufficient labor, or your design is like that, madam?
No, sir. Sir, what I explained is traditionally, sir, we were using solid wood. So solid wood, we had so much supply of wood. You know, we had a lot of forest, and wood has certain quality and structural quality. So ancient structures, when they designed, they understood the wood, the structure, and they made it accordingly. And yes, Kerala, we studied. So we studied the Kerala architecture, we studied the joints and how it is. But what happened, sir, is as in today's environment, we had to do 30,000 square feet of wood structure because client wanted wood structure. But in today's environment, we felt we can't be using that much solid wood, that to teak. Where is this wood coming from? We don't have forest. So that's when we thought of this glulam wood. Now glulam wood means, sir, 1 inch pieces put together, glued in a machine. And so each column was built with that, like so many pieces put together.
Oh, that is wooden laminated columns, madam?
Yes, sir. Everything is glue laminated wood.
Okay, okay.
And what happens, sir, is I was explaining that end of the glulam wood can split. If the column is like that and the pressure comes, the base of the column and the top column will split if the thing. So that is why we had to make those steel caps. Okay. So, sir, new material, new research accordingly, but inspiration from old Kerala architecture. Old Kerala houses span maybe only in Padmanabhapuram palaces, the span is more. So we studied that also. That house, the span was 11 meters. So we had to design something which could do the span of 11 meters. So we designed it accordingly, sir.
Last question. Actually, in our contemporary designs, what is the life of the building? What is the life of the building and cost difference between our ancient structures? Then, if you got any chance to construct a ancient architectural design, will you do it, madam?
Sir, my dream is to build a temple, sir. So, really, my dream, I want to design one temple. So, sir, if you have any temple coming up and something, please invite me. I will design. It's my dream. So I would like to do it, but yes, maybe I will not design it like exactly ancient temple. It will have some, newness to it. But I want to do that. And so I think we also believe that ancient, sir, when you say, sir, ancient architecture, it was built maybe 100 years ago or 50 years ago, different things. So at that time, they built buildings for that time with the craftsmen available, technology available. I truly believe in that. We want to do buildings today with our technology. So today, if they were not building 20-story buildings anciently. Today we are building 25, 30-story buildings. So we have a new technology. So we have to think of new technology. We have to think frame structure, masonry separate, how it happens, how earthquake will. So I think we like to do things with correct, appropriate technologies, which works for our times. And life of life of ancient building and life of contemporary building is not to do with how it looks. It is to do with how it is built. You know, it is what materials are used. What is the technology used? How is the workmanship of people working? Sir, we all know that traditional buildings, I think one good thing was the craftsman who was building, I think he had some love and of working. So maybe the craftsman making, he would carve out, do things. I think he enjoyed doing it. Today, I think we are all in construction field. We face this. We know today's labor, very few percentage of laborers maybe do with that passion that what I'm doing, this building should be really good and it should last. They all want to get away with, like somehow. So we try our best in all our buildings. So when the contractor comes, when the mason comes, sir, I go speak to all the masons. I'll explain the building to them. I'll explain what we have done. So sir, if we go and speak to them, we show them how important they are, what they are doing, what they do. If they do it well, how the building will come out. We do that effort to bring that pride in them. And we are hoping that they will do a good job and these buildings can last, how much they can. So what to do? That's our limitation.
Okay, madam. Madam, past 30 years I worked with so many architects in Mumbai, Delhi, Chennai. I feel that contemporary designs have no ethics, but end of this your meeting, I came to know even contemporary designs have ethics. Thank you, madam. And end of your presentation, you please tell your scope. Scope means about our structural engineer in your success part. Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir. Madam, on doubt, your travel around the world based on construction industry, all over the world are changes to steel structures and ready-made panel boards constructions all. But in India only, still they're using the bricks and sand, cement structures. What is the reason when our India will change that steel structures and ready-made constructions?
I think, let's say yes. Like in US, if you see, what's happening is all the houses there are made with wood and plywood. Okay, they are hollow structures. And I have lived in them. I must say it's a horrible experience. Okay, you can hear, it's like somebody is flushing in the toilet, you can hear it. Oh. You're in the bedroom, like that. So if you, I hope that for our climate, we are in tropical, the combination of masonry to light wood structure. So why traditionally we had lightweight roof, masonry walls? Because we don't want heat we don't want heat to come into the thing, and then the lightweight roof would shade the walls so the heat won't come. The roof, even in a house, in a village house, when it's hot sun, 40 degrees in the afternoon, it would be cooler when you sit inside, because heat, in a concrete structure, it takes that 8 hours to lag inside. So if you have a concrete roof, that same room will become really hot at night. But if it's a lightweight roof, tile roof or something, you open the windows in the evening, and by night, you can sleep in a thing. So actually, if you see, that combination of masonry and lightweight works very well for our climate, especially in Tamil Nadu, where we have extreme hot temperature. So I don't think we should be blindly following what the whole world is doing because they are moving to lightweight thing. In hot climates with such thing, we need masonry to insulate. We go with these plywood, structures which comes prefabricated, we will not get the insulation right. Then we will put air conditioners, we will make the energy go up. It doesn't make sense. So I think idea is where the technology works, we should use it. So yes, maybe in malls, prefabricated cement panels, walls as work because they take less space. But maybe in houses they don't work. We need to do that. So I think we should be careful as people who are designing and deciding on what materials. So we are all the advisors to all our clients. You know what material is the most appropriate material. So we should do it what is appropriate at today's time, I feel, and what works in today's context for the client, budget, and thing. I don't think we have to follow the West.
Thank you, madam. Very, very nice clarification. Ashokan sir, உங்களோட screen sharing கொஞ்சம் கட் பண்ணிடுங்க சார். Sir, anybody, any doubts, please ask. மேடம் அவங்களுடைய ப்ரீசியஸ் டைம் ஒதுக்கி கிட்டத்தட்ட ஒரு 3 hours நம்மளுக்கோசம் அலாட் பண்ணி இருக்காங்க. ரொம்ப ரொம்ப கிளாரிட்டியா ரொம்ப கிளியரா வந்து ஒரு ஆர்கிடெக்சர்னா எப்படி அதனோட யூசேஜஸ் முதற்கொண்டு எல்லாமே நம்மகிட்ட சொல்லிட்டு இருக்காங்க. ஏதாச்சும் டவுட்ஸ் இருந்தாங்கன்னா நீங்க வந்து ஹேண்ட் ரைஸ் பண்ணலாம், இல்லைன்னா அன்மியூட் பண்ணிட்டு நீங்க கேட்கலாம். ஓகே, எதுவும் டவுட்ஸ் இல்லை. நம்ம நெக்ஸ்ட் வந்து நம்மளுடைய our past president engineer.
Sir,
yes, sir.
I ask for an obligation from madam. What is the role of structural engineer in your structures, madam? We want our satisfaction. We have to tell, please.
Sir, I think you must have seen in our projects, I think the structure is very important. So like we don't do that, you know, we just design the plan and tell the structural engineer, give us the columns and we will somehow make it work. We are very careful because we think where the columns are, where the beams are, they give very important, they have a very important role in the experience of the space we do. So we work very closely with our structural engineers. I think structural engineer Satish, who's here part of the panel, he can explain how we make life difficult for the engineers in his office. We are very particular how the structure, where it wants, what is the size, and think we work with them. So we something, they'll come back and, you know, we'll keep go back and forth. Because it doesn't work that, you know, this is what architect is given, we have to do it. This is what structure. I think the best structures will come where two of us work together and have a dialogue, and we have to understand each other. We don't have to like feel who is more important, because I think what value we architects bring may be slightly different from what value engineers bring, but it together we have to do. I have learned in my 25 years of experience how the buildings work. I think I have learned from all the civil engineers, some people who worked in my office, or the contractors, you know, and everybody. So I think the working of the building is also very important. See, we are not the architects, sir, who just design the form and tomorrow the building should not leak or it should not happen. And I think engineers have the best knowledge in guiding us how to make that happen. And we pick everybody's brain, consultants. So actually we have a very good dialogue with all our consultants, whether it's HVAC engineer or plumbing, mechanical, everything. We work very closely with all of them. I hope I answered your question, sir.
Thank you, madam. சார், நம்ம சதீஷ் சார்ன்றது வந்து செகண்ட் டெக்னிக்கல் மீட்டிங் வந்தார் இல்லைங்களாங்க சார், பெங்களூர்ல இருந்து வந்தார் இல்லைங்களா, அவர் தான் சதீஷ் சாருங்க சார் நம்மளுக்கு. சார், நம்ம இந்த செஷன் நம்மள இதை கொஞ்சம் க்ளோஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாங்க சார். அவர் பாஸ்ட் பர்சன் engineer M.E. Ashokan sir will felicitate this program. Ashokan sir. அசோகன் சார் லைன்ல இருக்கிறீங்களா? அசோகன் சார், our past president, state assistant president 1 to 5, initiate this program.
Hello, Michelle?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, madam. Just such a wonderful presentation, madam. Once again, thanking you. You are changing the contract design concept in my mind. Very thankful to you, madam. Excellent. I hope, I pray God to give you a best chance to build a harmonic temple which you are carer. Thank you, madam. Thank you so much. Thank you, our fellow engineers. Thank you, President, to make such a beautiful, excellent presentation with our excellent architect, madam. Once again, I thank you, President. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you very much. I think I would like to thank Satish and the Salem Civil Engineers Association to, give me this platform to connect with you all. So thank you very much.
Thank you, madam.
Vijay Banu sir.
Yes, sir.
Satish here. A big hug for your questions, sir. Sorry, I could not able to meet you in person. A big hug for your questions.
Sir, who is speaking?
Sir, Satish from Bangalore.
Satish sir. Good evening. How are you, sir?
Sir, very good, sir. Very good, sir.
Okay, sir.
Questions
one
are
thing,
very
sir.
excellent, sir.
So why are you asking the questions again to madam means? I read one wordings in some books. I don't know which book is. For a building, architect is blood and flesh. Engineers are bone and veins. So, I accept. So because I am very much proud as a structural engineer. Satish sir, all the best in your career. Thank you so much.
Sir, sure, sir. In fact, that a small thing about that Dimple, what she mentioned, that the bondage between the structural engineer and the architect. In
Yes,
fact,
yes,
we will not see this as a drawings or plans. We will just involve it as a one element.
Yes,
Just
sir.
we will involve into that subject. We will just feel and we'll go into that building. Before we build, we'll just go into that. We'll feel each and element, we'll think, then we'll act. So in fact, we'll say it is not a thing of that just for a time. This is the time we'll sit and do. It's not like that, sir. We'll just really enjoy the discussion. Then only it will happen. Not only Dimple, even the Dimple team and Vijay and our team, it is all we involved in every project to make things happen for client success.
Okay, sir. I am working with one Kishore Kauda in Bangalore, sir, for a structural consultant, sir.
Great, sir. Great, sir.
Thank you, sir. Once again, all the best, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir. This is time for a vote of thanks by our activity secretary, Engineer M. Salomani.
Good evening to all. I would like to thank our chief guest for the wonderful speech. I thank my friend Satish to support this technical meeting. I would like to thank our president, secretary, treasurer, past president, and my dear members for participating in this technical meeting. Once again, I thank one and all present here. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Our technical meeting 5 is adjourned for the next meeting. Thank you. Open to all. என்னாச்சுன்னா பர்சனலா ஒரு 5 minutes டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணிட்டு க்ளோஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாம். Thank you.
Madam.
No, so thank you everybody. It was good. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, madam.
Thank you, madam.
Shall I leave?
Okay, madam. Okay.
Thank you.
ராஜு அரவிந்த் பாபு சார் எப்படி இருக்காரு?
அதுக்கு அந்த இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் சொல்றதுக்கு தான் கூப்பிட்டேன்.
சரிங்கண்ணா.
ஹலோ, கேக்குதா?
கேக்குதுண்ணா.
ஹலோ, பேசலாமா?
பேசுங்க.
சார், அரவிந்த் பாபு வந்து பாத்தீங்க அப்படின்னா 6:30க்கு வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா நம்ம ரூமுக்கு ஷிஃப்ட் பண்ணிட்டாங்க. ஐசியூல இருந்து நார்மல் ரூம் வந்துட்டாரு சார்.
ரொம்ப சந்தோஷங்க.
ஆமா, அதுல வந்து அவங்க ஒய்ஃப் வந்து இப்ப டேக் கேர் பண்ணிக்கிறாங்க. இன்னொரு 2 days கழிச்சு வீட்டுக்கு வந்துருவார் சார். எவ்ரிதிங் ஆல் ரைட் சார்.
சார் அடுத்தது இன்னைக்கு வந்து நம்ம பாஸ்ட் பிரசிடென்ட் செல்வானனுக்கு இன்னைக்கு மேரேஜ் டே. அண்ணா நீங்க